Hi there, my name's Michael and welcome to Tabletop-Infiltrator. In today's video we'll be having a look at December's edition of White Dwarf issue 471, and from the rumours that I've heard, the Tyranids have got some buffs to their armies. The forces of the High Fleet are looking really strong now, so let's jump in and have a look. So here we have it, White Dwarf issue 471, December's edition. Now from the front of it you'd think, oh, it's got a vampire on it, it's Age of Sigmar related this month. Flashpoint Octarius. So I had a quick flick through and yeah, some really good rules. So in this month's edition we've got Soul Blight, Battle Tome update, Path to Glory, 3 game battle report, that's cool. New Sisters rules for novitiates or something like that. Tyranids Army of Renown, Crusher Stampede. So this is, as I'm a 40k player, this is the main focus for me. And then modelling articles for Middle Earth and much more. Alright, so let's crack on. So we get a nice little, what's that? This is the Fellowship of the Ring and trying to get into Mordor. Let's have a look, right. Brilliant artwork there. So you've got your content page, contacts from modelers and gamers from around the world. Some really nice looking models here. Some cool Templar Black, some Black Templar Blade Guard veterans, and you got these personalised Black Templar Storm Shields. They're looking really cool. Who's done that? Stefano Macari. Sorry mate, I don't know how to say your name, but Stefano, your Blade Guard veterans look sick. And then we've got Helm's Deep here. Wow, that's awesome. That is so cool. And they've even like put a section in there for when the wall was destroyed. So cool. That's awesome looking. Chris Bridge. Well done, mate. That looks like an epic job. And it'll, when you finish painting that up and everything, that looks brilliant. So cool. And then what we've got here, we've got Worlds of Warhammer. So Worlds of Warhammer delves into the background of the Age of Sigmar, and the 41st millennium, looking at how stories are created and the legends are born. This issue, Andy Clark provides some useful tips on how to create a background for your army. So for me, this would be really good because of my my custom chapter, the Redeemers. So I'll have a read through this and see if it gives me any more ideas that I can add to the flavour that is my custom chapter. That's really cool. Oh wow, okay, so you got some random generator names here. Huh, this would be really good. It'll add some real flavour to my custom chapter, I think. Excellent. And then, oh okay, this is really cool. Ultramarine Strike Force Claudius, Gorzag's Iron Jaws, Tyranid Splinter Fleet, codename Arachne. Ah, so this is using the random generator table here. This is really good. I like this. I've got to say, White Dwarf has produced some brilliant content recently. It's been really good. And then moving on to Warhammer Age of Sigmar section. Like I said, I'm a 40k player, so I know next to nothing about Age of Sigmar. All I know is that the models look absolutely fantastic. I think they look brilliant. The sculpts GW does for Age of Sigmar are great. This looks like the Undead versus the Stormcast Eternals, the Space Marines of the Age of Sigmar universe. And then we've got a Tale of 4 Warlords, so this is the Age of Sigmar version, and it looks like the Lumineth Realm Lords. So you've got the High Elves, you've got Slaves to Darkness, so demons, Cities of Sigmar, so that's dwarves, High Elves, Empire, that sort of thing. That's using all your old Warhammer Fantasy miniatures basically. And then Hedonites of Slaanesh, so Slaanesh. And that's a giant, not a Gargant. So that's just going through that. Again, love the models, but not particularly interested in Age of Sigmar. I gotta say though, he looks absolutely, Bellicor looks fantastic. Really, really a centerpiece model. And great that you can use them in both Age of Sigmar and 40k, and you've got that Lieutenant in 40k having his life force sucked out of him, which is really cool. And then you've got the Cities of Sigmar. So this is your old Warhammer Fantasy models, I think. I think that's how it works. Host of Excess, so this is Slaanesh. That's cool. And then the Jade Kingdoms. Gurren is a land of mystical cycles that is home to flora and fauna of all kinds, and its natural beauty is wondrous to behold. Although it was, for Gurren has been marked by grandfather Nurgle, and his vile plagues have sunk deep into its bedrock. Oh, okay. Oh dear. So this is the Flashpoint for Age of Sigmar. Wow, and these models here, these are they Griffin Knights from Warhammer Fantasy. So these must be the Cities of Sigmar miniatures. That's cool. Wellspring of Life, so loads of fluff and lore. Just giving you an understanding of the realmscapes. Again, doesn't mean that much to me. Flashpoint Clash, the Tome Celestial, so tremble mortals and lock your doors tight when the light of Haish fades, for the soul-blight grave lords are abroad. At the head of the hordes of the walking dead come the vampires, blood-drinking monsters who hunger for domination and seek to drag the lands of living into their morbid empires. So this is the undead, so loads and loads of undead fluff and background, and I think the artwork looks pretty cool as well. Got a vampire lord there on some dead thing. And then the Red Knights, is it the Red Knights? So cool, really cool looking artwork on there. And then this is the only model that I'm not 100% sure on. It's just like vampire, which has been plopped on top of a flying thing. I don't know. It's really weird. It's like these armor bits down. It's like they're giving him a piggyback. It looks really random, but oh well. And then you've got new rules. I think this is for like campaign games, or the Age of Sigmar version of campaign games. Open play, match play. To glory. So a whole load of new rules that you can use. The Invidian War. The continent of Invidia is hostile to servants of Nagash, but not only does it reside in the realm of life, it is also infused with the corrupting power of Nurgle. Great. But as an enterprising vampire, have seen it a potential in the land. Do you dare claim it? So it gives you a little campaign that you can play, which is cool. I like that. If you're into your narrative in Age of Sigmar, brilliant. And then we're moving on to rules of engagement. So rules of engagement curated by the Age of Sigmar games developers focuses on the creation, design and evolution of rules for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. This issue, Sam Pearson beats a path to our door to tell us about the virtues of narrative gaming. So brilliant. If you're a narrative player and you like that aspect of the game, loads of content for you. Right, and then what we've got here is the battle report this month is an Age of Sigmar battle report. Okay, So Quest of Burning Blood in Darkest Shaiish, a Khorne warband searches for an ancient artifact known as the Talisman of Burning Blood. Of course it is. Yet their trespass into the realm of death has not gone unnoticed, for a ghostly procession has begun to haunt their quest. Brilliant. So when it comes to battle reports, I don't want to spoil it for anyone. If you want to pick up the magazine and read it for yourself, so I'll pause it here, skip over to the next couple of pages, and if you're interested, you can pick up the magazine and see how that battle unfolds. So yeah, it looks like it's a 3-part. It said it here. 3-game battle report. So if you're into your Age of Sigmar, definitely worth a read there. And also there's like a cardboard cutout that you can use for the campaign. So really good if you're into your Age of Sigmar and you want to see how those battle reports unfolded. And then moving on to my favourite section of the magazine, the Warhammer 40k part. And I've seen bits of this artwork all over. This is the artwork that accompanied the launch of the Black Templar range, and it looks like the Templars are smashing up a planet and just crusading in the name of the Emperor. You've got a fantastic piece of artwork. It looks like planetary bombardment taking place. Really cool looking. Love the Templars. And if you saw my live stream last night, you'll know that I've got a Black Templar model that I've converted up to be my Primaris captain, so go and have a look. Right, so Flashpoint Octarius, moving straight on to that. So The Red and the Dead Part 2, so this is following on from Part 1 in issue 470. So the galaxy is being torn asunder, new war zones exploding into life with ever increasing frequency. In the Octarius sector, so High Marshal Helbrecht of the Black Templars declares the start of the Damahol Crusade, an imperial counterstrike to drive out the alien menace from Abantua, something like that. And I read the last one, I'm going to read this one, it was fantastic. The only reason why I never started collecting Black Templars is because I find black really hard to paint, and there's a load of edge highlighting really that you have to go into it, and I can't stand edge highlighting, so that's why I never collected them. But I've always been a massive fan of the Black Templars, and that's why I kind of like to have a sneaky conversion put into my army. So again, I'll be reading this today. Fantastic. Love the lore, love the fluff. One of my favourite Black Templar moments ever from way back when was the worldwide campaign on Armageddon, when the Black Templars teleported on board an Orc rock, and even though they were defeated, it was still an epic battle. There was like an Emperor's Champion going up against a Killer Khan. It was so cool. So I've always had a fondness for the Black Templars. And then you've got this iconic artwork here by John Blanchy, absolute legend. And these models are now, you can now get these models. GW have redone them with the release of the Black Templars. So really cool. And then you've got some more fluff here and some more short stories, I think. So deep beneath the surface of Abantua, I hope I'm saying that right, the Black Templars are on the hunt for alien life forms. Auspex is ringing with dozens of confirmed contacts. They descend into the bowels of the planet's storage facilities to purge the Xenos taint. Cool. And again, I loved reading the last one, and I love reading this one as well. If you love your 40k lore, White Dwarf is packed with it, so brilliant. And then the Butcher Town Wars, so this is the Black Templars going up against the Orcs, because the Orcs obviously are in Octarius as well. The Butcher Towns of Abantua are vital to the war effort in the Octarius sector, as they provide countless raw materials for the Imperial forces, yet the Orcs, Tyranids and Genestealer cults have taken a great interest in them too. So this is a campaign part of it. You've got some nice artwork of Helbrecht there. So again, if you're into your narrative side, you crusade part of the game, this is perfect for you. You can really add some depth to your games of 40k. You've got loads of rules, you've got missions you can play, mission objectives. Yeah, really, really nice. And then, this is it. So, Army of Renown, Crusher Stampede. So this is a new Army of Renown, which is like a special army, which kind of limits you to certain models and gives you certain rules. But on the plus side of that, the limitations are you're taking certain models and bits and pieces, but you get some really, really cool looking rules. And from what I've heard, this is fantastic. So at the height of the Tyranid invasions, when opposition is fierce enough, the Hive Fleet produces entire hordes of monstrous creatures to overwhelm the foe. When they attack, their horizon is filled with enormous hungering beasts. So basically, loads of gribblies and beasts coming at you. So, an Army of Renown is a specialist force that has earned fame or infamy across the 41st millennium, the experience of which has given its warriors unique skills. So if you wish your army to become an Army of Renown, it must first adhere to all the restrictions laid out for that Army of Renown. So you're very set on what units you can take. You can use any of the rules listed in an Army of Renown to make a Crusade Army of Renown. Okay, so that's if you want to use it in Renown. So, for a Tyranid force, restrictions. Your army cannot include any swarm units and cannot contain any models with wounds characteristics of 2 or less. So that would be like your little gribblies, like gaunts and Hormel gaunts and that sort of thing, I would suspect. And then for each unit from your army that does not have a monster keyword, your army must include at least one monster unit. Okay, so if you've not got a monster, you have to have a monster key. Okay. All units from your army must have the Tyranids keyword and be drawn from the same Hive Fleet. Okay, so no mixing, no like Leviathan or Behemoth or something like that. So benefits, all units from your army gain the Crusher Stampede keyword. Okay. Units from your army without the monster keyword gain the Shielded by the Hive Mind ability. Cool. Monsters from your army gain the Hulking Behemoth ability. You have access to Crusher Stampede Warlord trait and stratagems. Crusher Stampede psychic power from your army can generate their psychic powers from the mass convergence discipline. Cool, so basically if your army conforms to these restrictions, you then get these benefits. So Shielded by the Hive Mind, this unit can never gain a Hive Fleet adaptation. Models in this unit have a 5+ invuln save. Oh, okay. Cool. And then Hulking Behemoths. This unit can never gain a Hive Fleet adaptation. Models in that unit have a 5+ invuln save. Each time an attack is allocated to a model in this unit, subtract 1 from the -1 damage. Bloody hell. Models in that unit count as a number of models equal to the remaining wounds for the purpose of determining the control over the objective markers. Woo! That is tasty! So if you've got monsters, so models in that unit count as a number of models equal to the remaining wounds. So if you've got something with like 8 or 9 wounds, some big old monsters, models in that unit can count as a number of models equal to the remaining wounds for the purpose of determining control of objective markers. That is amazing, because what you'll do is, say you're doing like a trading game and then there's a 5-man assault intercessor squad. Even though they're troops, you just stick this monster on there, wipe them off, and they'll hold the objective, and you won't really want to go up against them because they're a monster. So that's interesting. And then Crusher Stampede Warlord trait. So these are the Warlord traits. So while a friendly Crusher Stampede monster unit is within 6 inches of this Warlord, each time a model in that makes a melee attack, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores 1 additional hit. So that's Whirlwind of Rage, basically. That's really cool. Woo! Savage Intimidation. While an enemy unit is within 3 inches of this Warlord, each time a model that makes a melee attack, subtract 1 for their attack hit roll. Wow, -1 to attack. Each time a combat attrition test is taken with that unit, subtract 1 from the combat attrition test. Yeah, morale's alright, but -1 to melee attacks. Whew, that's really cool. And then Rampaging Beast is once per turn when this warlord is selected to fight, it can use this warlord trait. If it does so until the end of the phase, add D3 to this warlord's attack characteristics. Whoa, my goodness. That's pretty cool. So, I do like that. I like the 5+ invuln, and I like the wounds counting. Wounds count towards the purpose of determining the control of objective markers. That's really cool. Some nice warlord traits there. And then we got some stratagems. So Thunderous Impact. That's 2 CP, and use this stratagem in the fight phase. When a Crusher Stampede model from your army has finished a piling move, select one enemy monster or vehicle, so monsters and vehicles, with engagement range of that model. Until the end of that phase, that model can only make attacks against the selected unit, and each time it makes an attack. Whew. Add 1 to the attack hits roll, add 1 to the attack's wound roll, add 1 to the attack's damage roll. So, oh my goodness, monster or vehicles, and you get +1 to attacks, wounds and damage. That is horrible. But 2 CP, so you got to be selective when you use that. Terrifying Charge is 1 CP. Use your stratagem at the start of your morale phase. Select one enemy unit within engagement range of the Crusher Stampede model from your army that has made a charge move this turn. Until the end of the turn, subtract 3 from the leadership. Ooh, okay, that's a bit tasty. And then Unbreakable Chitin, so that's 1 CP or 2 CP, I suppose that's depending on the size of the unit. So use the stratagem in any phase when a Crusher Stampede unit from your army is selected as the target of an attack. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack is made against that unit, unmodified wound roll of 1 to 3 for that attack fails. Oh, so it's transhuman basically. Oh. And if it's 5 models or more, if it's up to 5 models or contains any model wounds characteristic of 10 or more, this stratagem costs 2 CP, otherwise it's 1 CP. Cool! So 1 to 3 fails, so good against really heavy weapons and big devastating melee attacks. Let's have a look, and then Death Surge. Use the stratagem in the fight phase when a Crusher Stampede monster model, excluding character models from your army, is destroyed. Do not remove that model from play. It can fight after the attacking model's unit has finished making an attack. When doing so, that Crusher Stampede model can still have its full wounds remaining for the purpose of determining characteristics on its profile. Woo. Death Surge, so 2 CP, a little bit expensive. Fight on death on your full profile. 2 CP, a little bit expensive, but at the right time could be really, really deadly. And then Breakthrough is 1 CP. Use a stratagem in your charge phase when a Crusher Stampede monster model from your army finishes a charge move. Select one enemy model within engagement range of that monster model and roll a number of d6 equal to that monster's remaining wounds. So if you've got 8 wounds, you roll 8d6. If that monster model's strength characteristic is higher than the enemy model's toughness characteristic, for each 3+, that enemy model's unit suffers 1 mortal wound. Whew. So if it's the same as the toughness characteristic, on a 4+, that model suffers 1 mortal wound. And if that monster's strength is less than the enemy model, it's on a 5+. So mortal wounds for a CP, which is not bad. And then we've got Rapid Adaptation. Use the stratagem before the battle when you're mustering your army. Select one Crusher Stampede Tyranid Warriors, okay, unit from your army. Models in that unit have a weapon skill characteristic of 2+, and a ballistic skill. Oh wow, okay. Ballistic skill characteristics 3+. So that's really encouraging to take Tyranid Warriors because you don't often see them that much on the battlefield. I think they're really cool models. And that's 1 CP, and then Enhanced Brain Function is 1 CP or 2 CP, depending on probably the model count. Use this stratagem in the shooting phase. Select one Crusher Stampede Tyranid Warriors unit from your army that is within engagement range of enemy models. Until the end of the phase, models in that you can never... what? Until the end of the phase, models in that unit can make range attacks using the big guns never tire. Ooh. And as if they had monster keyword. Cool. Huh. And then these are the psychic disciplines. So synaptic barrier, blessing. It has synaptic barrier has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one friendly crusher stampede model within 18 inches of the psych until the start of your next psychic value. 4+ invuln, and it's on a warp charge value of 6. Ooh, tasty. I like that. That's really good. Aggressive surge. It has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one friendly crusher stampede model within 18 inches of the psychic until the start of your next psychic phase. Add D3 to the attack characteristic of that model. Wow, that's really cool. So you can protect units and you can buff them up to go out and kill stuff. And then infused energies. This is a blessing. It has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one friendly crusher stampede unit, excluding synapse units, within 18 inches of the site until the start of the next psychic phase. Each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, you can re-roll the hit roll. Oh my goodness. Re-roll hits. Whew. That is the Army of Renown. The Tyranids. Wow. There's some good stuff in there. If you're going to go for an Tyranid Army of Renown, you've got some good options there. I mean, I'm not a Tyranid player, I know bits and pieces about them, but from what I've heard, the Tyranids are fairly strong anyway at the minute, so this will probably help them out even more. Really good. And then Zealotry's Inception. Zealotry's Inception. So the battle sisters of the Adeptosaurus are warrior zealots who fight to defend the faith of the Imperium in the face of heretics, mutants, xenos, witches and demons. Yet even the most experienced sister began her long road of war and prayer as novitiate, I think that's what they're called. So these guys are basically like the girls, ladies, like scouts, basically, kind of. They're at the beginning of their journey of sisterhood, and you've got basically a whole load of fluff and stuff behind them, and then you've got their data sheet for them as well. That's really handy. Excellent. So if you're a sisters player, because these were in the Kill Team, the Kill Team box set that came out with which had the Tau in there as well. So you can now use them in your games of 40k, and you only have to buy a White Dwarf to do it. Cool. And I think those are the Tau. I only just noticed that. Excellent. And then the glorious Christmassy Revolution, the Red Gobbo. So you got rules for using him as well. Excellent. Brilliant. Movement 10, weapon skill 4+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 3, toughness 5. What? Wounds 5, attacks 3, leadership 6 and a 4 up. What? He's got custom Grot Blaster, 12-inch range, Ducker 3-2, strength 5, AP 1, 2 damage. And Bouncer's Jaws, strength 6, -2, 2 damage. Each time the bearer fights, he makes 3 additional attacks with this weapon. No more than 3 attacks can be made with this weapon. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, an unmodified rule on 6 inflicts 3 mortal wounds. And oh my goodness. I mean, it's not an addition, the attack sequence ends, but 3 power as well, stick bombs as well. And then the Revolution, while friendly Gretchen unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time you make a combat attrition test for the add 1 to the test. Oh, okay, so leadership buff. Red Gobbo, this model can be included in an orc detachment without preventing the other units that detachment from gaining a clan culture note. Oh, okay. And then Pointy I think it's like Decorators. After this unit makes a charge move, you can select one enemy unit within 1 inch of it and roll on a d6. On a 4+, that unit suffers d3. D3. So he's going to throw a ball at them and some tinsel and score some D3 mortal wounds. That's awesome. The power of the red gobbo. So it's just looking at him over the years. That's really cool. And then Warhammer Underworlds Glory Points. So Glory Points is a column all about Warhammer Underworlds, created by the game's developers of the Age of Sigmar studio. This column delves into the development of the game, plus rules, tactics and gameplay. This issue, Dave introduced us to Harrow Deep. So I know absolutely nothing about Underworld. So you got some bits and pieces in there. Then Black Library. I think this is looking at Age of Sigmar. So the Road of the Hallowed King, stalking his prey across the realms. Yeah. Kado Exakar, I don't know how to say that, arrives at the city of Glimmerheart in the need of respite, yet the taint of chaos lingers upon the land, and he soon finds himself drawn into a conflict with the servants of the Dark Gods. Nice bit of fluff, bit of short story there. And then Middle-earth, they're back again. What is this? Lord of the Rings is one of the greatest fantasy stories ever told, loved by millions of people around the world. Middle-earth manager Rob Alderman takes a look at the game that has inspired the novels and films, and was inspired by the novels and films, and its incredibly 20-year adventure. So through to White Dwarf. I remember when they came out in White Dwarf, you used to have to turn the magazine upside down to read it. These are all the box sets that came out, the rule books. Yeah, really cool. Second age, third age, so it's just working your way through all the different model ranges and books and games that come out for it. Of course, I do enjoy Middle-earth. I played it when I was younger. And I'm glad to see that GW refreshed the range. Some nice model work going on there. Gates of Moria. Nice. And then Balin's Tomb. Again, I think this was done in a White Dwarf like 10 years ago or something like that. And they did a battle report inside here. My friend had this troll. I always used to get stuck playing the orcs and he was playing Rohan, I think, or something like that. Battlefields under construction. You don't see this often. You used to see this a lot in old White Dwarfs, them making the terrain and stuff like that, and the special scenery bases and bits and pieces. Glad to see they brought that back. And you could probably copy that and paint it up and do it yourself. Legions of Middle-earth. So the people of Middle-earth are many and varied, from the silver-clad men of Gondor, the noble elves of Rivendell, to the filth-encrusted goblins of Moria and the stinking orcs of Mordor. Here we provide the modelling and painting inspirations for the armies of Middle-earth. Really cool. Wow, that's really that is great. The Rohirrim. Loads and loads of great models. Bard the Bowman. Eomer, Master of the Riddermark. Gandalf the White. Brilliant. And then inside the studio, so the team working in the studio, their models that they've been working on. Excellent. Really, really, really cool. And then Hobby Bingo review of the year, so what people have been managed to get done throughout the year. And then a little sneak peek at the next issue of White Dwarf, Gene Stealer Cult Kill Teams. Excellent. And on the back there we've got a nice picture of Age of Sigmar. Looks like some mechanical space dwarfs going up against beastmen. So yeah, White Dwarf December's edition 471. So, December's edition of White Dwarf. I mean, what a way to kick off Christmas. You think that it's going to be full of AOS, and you have a look and you've got some awesome 40k content in here. The Army of Renown for the Tyranids looks pretty tasty. like I said, I'm not an expert when it comes to the Tyranids, but let me know down in the comment section if this Army of Renown does take the Tyranids up to another level, because I know what Hive Garden monsters are they, so could they fit into that that Army of Renown? Could they be made even better by its benefits, the stratagems, the psychic powers? Yeah, really, really good. And the rest of the content as well, there's loads in here. Again, the Flashpoint Octarius fluff and lore and short stories. I really enjoyed the one from November's White Dwarf. So yeah, happy I picked this one up again. Let me know if you're going to be picking it up from, you're going to be picking up this month's, or are you just going to pause mine and take screenshots of what I've just shown you. But yeah, that's December's edition of White Dwarf. If you don't hear from me before Christmas, I hope you all have a great Christmas and a happy new year, and stay safe in all these troubling times. If you've enjoyed the video, consider giving me a thumbs up, and if you haven't, stick me on a dislike. It's all good, helps the algorithm. If you like the content and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button, which is down there in the corner. Switch on notifications so you never miss a video, and I will hopefully see you next time.